答えは常に塔の上にある。
間に合う。間に合ったな。アリーナに売店ぐらいあるよな。
After school.
Bro, why didn't our boy go for Piss Girl in prison school?
I don't know, man. It could have been so different.
So, how the fuck? Hold on, I'm trying to remember. I think... What the fuck's his name? Kiyoshi?
Yeah, Kiyoshi.
Yeah, so this fool, this guy, right? You should be recording, Oscar, too, by the way. Alright, look, so Kiyoshi, right? He's at what, like at the river with Hana and the underground school president's sister, the sumo chick. I don't know. Who cares about her?
Oh, yeah, the one that he actually has a crush on or whatever.
Yeah, and Hana's here, you know, kind of like, fuck Yoshi's about to ask her out. I don't want that to happen. I want to be the GF. And so she starts saying all these things that they've done this entire time. I think what really just happens is Kiyoshi actually just pisses right in front of Mary. That's her name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of causes her to snap. She's like, holy shit, everything Hana said is true. And then she snaps and becomes the new underground president. And she's like, I fucking hate boys.
Oh my god, it's a bad ending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh, not Marie.
Oh,
Marie's the older sister. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I should have just went with Piss Girl, honestly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So welcome back to the podcast, guys. Enough about manga. We're here about webtoons because there's actually good characters here for the most part. Let's get into some viral hit, dude. We got some good stuff happening here. Chapters 39 to 42. Things are hitting up. We got 2 fights happening. That's great. And man, again, the boy that does Lookism doing this, he really knows how to write assholes.
Oh, yeah. I hate everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Best girl or not, I hate everybody, dude.
Yeah, no, these chapters were great, man. We're getting a lot coming in here. We're getting more answers about Chicken Man, who's teaching Hobin, and the backstories. We're getting great quality time with the waifus. And like right off the bat, I gotta say, Homeboy's MMA teacher, he has to be the chicken guy, right?
That's what I was thinking too, right? Like I had that thought a while back when I first saw him. I was like, his body type matches. You know, he's kind of got a little bit of scars, but it looks like it works out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then now that we know that he and Gail have a relationship or had a relationship, I don't know, man. It's more inclined. She broke out the little, you know, elementary school manual, had the little doodles with the chicken head, and I'm like, you know what? Things are starting to come together.
Right.
It does explain why she was able to find Hobin so fast when he first started streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he like said it out loud. You know, he said the move out loud when he first started. All this other stuff, and she was just able to pick up right on it, right just from that interaction. You know what I mean? So I think that we're definitely going to see them more inclined to reveal a little bit more of their backstory. And I'm thinking that eventually we're going to get to that point where Hobin is going to bring his crew into the gym. And that's when they're going to see each other again. Hopefully that'll be somewhat accurate. If not, they'll probably just meet like outside, outside of the boundaries. Probably like meeting each other on the street or some bullshit. You know, the author of Lookism kind of has like that idea, you know, of like I don't want to say whimsical, but just like predestined meetings. He always makes them like kind of walk into each other like if it was just like happenstance, you know what I mean? And then it just always ends up kind of working out. I think it might just be one of those kind of situations.
Yeah, I could definitely see Hobin, like you're saying, hop into the gym. Bomi's friend's there, and he's going to eventually want to get stronger because, as we saw in these chapters, he might be getting his ass whooped hard fighting the cameraman for One Punch TV. But yeah, I think a lot of authors like sort of those happenstance chances. I was watching some One Punch Man, and even in there, when we get the stuff with King and he's just like, oh, I actually met Saitama all those years ago, kind of thing. And I think that's just like a popular thing. It's like, dude, no way these characters met, you know. And yeah, there is a lot of that in Lookism, right? And webtoons, I like them because they really know how to just write some bitches too.
Jesus Christ.
You know, because we all hate Rachel, right, in Tower of God. And then we're getting like the other Gale. It's probably pronounced differently.
Gil?
Yeah, it's with a Y, right?
Yeah.
I call one Gale and the other one Gule.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
When we were seeing her true colors in these chapters, when she was talking to Gale, that stuff was great.
Was nuts.
Yeah.
I honestly did not expect her to be a fighter. I really like that came out left field like that. And I was like, this is a good plot twist. I'm not entirely sure if they plan on like keeping this a secret, like her having her little showdown with Gale. But I really hope that, you know, they kind of roll with it. And it's like no longer just like, okay, only like guys get bullied. You know, like girls also get bullied. That's just been a thing.
Girls are also fighters.
Breaks the little boundary line a little bit because I would love to see like you know, like more fights with these girls who we are just insipid poison personalities. Just get the shit kicked out of them because they're stupid bitches.
Gael got her fucking her face rocked and she got like a swollen eyeball. I'm like, dude, that's ugly. That's fucking awesome, man. When I saw like she got her in the armbar and then her arm just twisted like to go with it, I'm like, dude, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, exactly. I think they will keep it under wraps though, because Gil from, you know, Hoban's side, like she hasn't had a face reveal yet, so I don't think that would happen. Unless the other Gil from One Punch says, you know, she comes out with a video where she's all beaten up and is like, look what their cameraman did to me or whatever, and try to like get it on the flip side. And then of course she's gonna have backing because, as we saw in these chapters, that Hoban's doing this solo. He thought Homeboy that did the sushi videos was gonna help, but he's like, actually, she's your coworker, bro, so I'm not gonna help you take her down.
That was a good plot twist too.
Very early, I might say.
It was kind of like in her face too. Like if I would have thought about it a little bit more, I probably would have figured out like, yeah, they're probably not gonna do shit because she gets a lot of views.
And I gotta say, man, I'm kind of liking this comedic approach to the starts of the fights with Hoban. He's in just straight up like gorilla stance.
The bear crawl.
Or the bear crawl, yeah. And he starts growling, and then when he said beast, and I was like, oh yeah, beast mode, obviously, right?
I did like that scene. That was a really good scene. I think the main takeaway that I have from this is, just like we were kind of saying off record, I like a series, and especially now that, you know, that we've caught up to Lookism, you think that we'd catch all of these tropes that the author had already implemented in the other series. And I found myself always getting caught off guard by what's happening. I mentioned this earlier off record, but we were talking about Mangi, the big guy, you know, the sumo wrestler. We were talking about how I personally didn't recognize that this character could have been turned into an ally. Just kind of like how we got like Logan and Vin from Lookism, you know, or even Zack. You know, somebody who was like at one point, like definitely you could tell like an adversary, you know what I mean? And then just, you know, one altercation or another, and it's just like, bam, we're all friends now, you know? And it's just like, I should have seen that coming, but goddamn, the story was so good and I was so wrapped up in the drama that of course I didn't even see it coming. That's just great story writing, I think. Every single time. It's great.
Yeah, man. And shout out to our boy Mangi, actually doing some big brain moves in this chapter. I wasn't expecting. I wanted to see him go all out, but actually thinking about the repercussions of this, mainly with Rumi, right? Because he has feelings for her. I was like, oh, that's a different approach.
He's okay with making himself like the, you know, the stranger from afar. You know what I mean? And it's just like that. That's a lot of willpower, man. Like that, I gotta commend it to you, bro. I see a lot of people do some manly shit, but that's a baller man move right there. That's definitely the alpha move. I would say I wasn't entirely fond of him handing over his little mini camera over to Hoban. I had two thoughts when I saw that panel. My first thought was exactly where did he have that shit positioned so the camera could actually like film something.
Well, I mean, you could tell by the purple aura it have.
I know that Hoban said that he had copies, and Gaol was like, "Yo, I know that you definitely made copies, but in that one instance, I honestly don't think that Hoban made any copies. I really don't. I just think that he just took it, ran with it, and then he's just like going on based off what she said that he has like a copy of it just to make her on her toes."
Well, I don't know, because right after that, when it was like, what are you going to do? Protect your friend Rumi or get the 100 million won? And then they came in with all of these statistics and facts right out of the gate, out of nowhere. I feel like they should have a copy. But I understand where you're coming from, though, because the way he was acting does feel sort of very emotional and not really calculating.
Yeah, Rush too. I feel like same clothes from that little flashback. I think like I said, he just kind of just ran over there, like he just knew where she was going to be at. Well, obviously because she was watching his stream, but you know what I mean. It's just like I don't know. Like I think that the way that it could work out is he could basically do what he did to Viral Hook, say everything out loud during the stream, or like whether like she knows she's being recorded or not. Only after the fact, when she rats herself out, he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that file that you took that you thought I had, the only file that was that camera that you destroyed. So if you had just never said anything, you would have been totally fine. But thanks. That's and that would be really great. I think that really shows just how smart and cunning he is, as a character.
Yeah, like honestly, when Hoban was confronting her at the park, I was expecting homeboy, what is it, Snapper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting him to be streaming live because she was saying all this hot shit that she would never say behind the camera. But instead, it's like, no, let's just wait, because he did rush out there. But yeah, no, that was good stuff. I really like that intimidation stance she was doing to him, where she's like, "Hey, motherfucker, I've been doing this a lot longer than you. You have no idea what's about to go down."
I like that that one scene as they're starting the fight, Gale versus Gil.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're like, "Why are you putting it on my hair?" She's like, "You know how much my hair costs?" She's like, "Listen here, Bubblegum. I don't give a shit how much your hair costs. All right? why should I give a damn?" I get the feeling that this series will definitely be a lot more interesting than Lookism. The other thing is I'm pretty sure we have already mentioned this before, but every single time I read another chapter, I get a more sediment feeling each time that I know that I prefer Hoban over Daniel. Like, Hoban doesn't have any supernatural thing to work with. He does everything like basically from scratch. Mm-hmm. And above all else, he is very cunning. He's extremely sneaky, and I fucking love that. I like that we have a protagonist who's not a goody two shoes, who doesn't for the most part just work on believing everyone at face value, and just has these outstanding morals. Like, we know you either about it or you not. You know what I mean? Overall, he just makes for a great story. I think that everything that he does is a lot more entertaining than we would get out of Daniel and his whole entourage about being the moral person and being the better person, even though you're literally in a gang fight. Not to say that there should be a good guy versus a bad guy, but you're going to have two shitheads, one who's less evil than the other. Just like I was saying, because I didn't want to sidetrack too far. I just think that in regards to, comparing Hoban to Daniel, that we're definitely going to get a lot more entertainment coming from Hoban and what's going on in Viral Hit than we would at Lookism. And don't get me wrong, because, as we're talking about that next, everything that's going on in Lookism is the shit right now. I'm just more excited about what's going on next in Viral Hit. That's how
I think the two things that really separates Hoban and Daniel is Daniel didn't get to that point of anger that Hoban had, that jump-started everything for Hoban. The first fight he did with Snapper in the house, and that jump-started the channel, and then him really wanting to start doing more of this. And then the other thing is that this is all Hoban. It's not a second body he has, where that's where he's getting the positive energy from, like with Daniel. Like early Lookism, Daniel was still sad because he's like, damn, I'm still, you know, short and fat and people are still probably going to bully me, but I have this hot body that everyone likes, and that's where I get my self-esteem from. And then, like, I think I mentioned it last episode, how he has that confidence in him of where he's like, well, I'm stronger than these people, man. Like, I'm doing pretty good in my life.
I would disagree with you only on one aspect. It's been so long since Lookism has started that generally, and it's honestly, it's just really not mentioned anymore. Most, if not all, of his decisions at the beginning of Lookism was based off his relationship with his mother. And it still was very prevalent even later in the series, after a couple of arcs, after he established his group, after he established what his goal was, and he goes back to his hometown and he meets his cousins and he's with his mom. And, you know, like, even when he's doing good and making money for himself and kind of like, you know, just trying to help his mom as much as possible, his mom can still be a loser in front of his extended family, you know? And there's like, what can you really do about that, you know, other than, well, you know, we already know what happened because that already passed. But like I said, my whole point is we generally don't tend to take that with us as we expand with Daniel and his story and his personality, because that's something that he more or less kind of left behind. I digress. I think that without forgetting it, that's also something that's very close-minded to Hoban. And I remember that very clearly. You know, he made the decision to move by himself because he knew what it would do to his mom. It knew that he couldn't really have much of a life as long as his mom was like in the picture, and that no matter what he was going to do or no matter how badly he was going to suffer, his mom was going to suffer even more going through all this shit because she had to like try to basically pay for him, you know, and she could barely pay for herself, and that killed him inside. I think that in itself would give him, or pretty much any main character, a determination to really want to change yourself to a point of extremities where you have to move away, find a separate body, or like just random shit. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm thinking. I just think that in that regard, they are really similar.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's just right now in the current Lookism story is that like it's all about taking down workers and finding the answer about his body and stuff with the chairman and all that. So all that other stuff has to take a back seat. We haven't seen his mom in a long time.
It's okay to say that the shift has changed, or the change of plot, the target, the goal, however you want to word it, it's all changed. The dynamic is all changed now. Mm-hmm. Like, that time might come back again later in the future. I would say not before we get more into like a deeper idea of what's going on with what was the fat guy's name? Logan?
Yeah.
I'll make a hypothesis with you right now that the next time we're going to see anything about his mom is probably when we're going to see the person that basically scared Logan into running away. I think that those two things will have to probably correlate with each other because that's his hometown. They're both from there. Mom's still over there. So if there's a danger, it's going to involve him as well because now they both go to the same school. And now he's a part of the Six, of the J-High crew. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Something like that. But that's just a hypothesis I have.
Well, didn't he drop out, though?
I think that if anything, you're probably right. And he dropped out of his course. But I don't know if he'll change courses. Like, they might pull that bullshit. You know what I mean? Or he might end up coming back to, like, do architecture, you know, and just, you know, be a part of Vasco's crew. But I think he's doing, what, animation?
Yeah, he was in animation. But yeah, man, Viral Hit's doing really good stuff right now. We really got to appreciate the art here. The way the lighting is on all the characters, it's just fantastic. Oh, and yeah, before we go, One Punch TV's Gale, surprised that she fights dirty. That was crazy. She got like those, not really brass knuckles, but those rings.
Oh yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Brass knuckle rings. Oh, you said you weren't surprised?
Oh hell no, dude! I knew she had something up her sleeve. I knew like our girl would pull through with some of the fighting styles because as soon as she had like the boxer or the wraps, the bandages, I'm like, oh, it's over.
Yeah. And she only put them under her fingers. I was like, ooh,
yeah, right at the
about
joints.
To make some. Oh look, okay. Don't tell me that she's not your favorite when she's leaving Rumi's house and she's like, I just gotta go fuck somebody up really quick.
That my heart had a boner.
Oh god, I love that shit. I'm just gonna go fuck somebody up really quick. And Rumi's like, who are you gonna go fuck up?
Like, don't worry about it. Just eat your rice. Rice is life.
For real, dude.
Life. That's my kind of lady right there.
That's the girl right there, dude.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get a hard on for any time I see a girl wear a yellow jacket.
See, I was only surprised she fought dirty was because initially it just sounded like she only learned a little bit from her brother. And I was like, okay, so maybe she knows how to fight a little bit, but not like too much. But yeah, I guess, her fighting dirty, it's like, oh yeah, that's, like you said, Jerry, it's not a surprise because guess what? She's a bitch, bro. I wasn't thinking siblings for those two. Like, I felt like there was something in the past that has, like, they have a special bond together or something. Like, that's why he kind of puts up with her shit. But I guess if he's the older brother, that makes sense too.
Now that you were talking about that, how it kind of caught you off guard that they were related, like as siblings.
Yeah.
You know, with the way that we saw, like, the inside of their house, you know, like a mattress on the floor, shit everywhere. You know, they're at home, so they're just wearing nothing but, like, raggedy shit, whatever, you know what I mean? I thought to myself, there's only one mattress. They have to be a couple. It's like, and what the fuck is that? Like, you sleep with a shirt on. Like, you basically wear a nightie to bed. And he's, like, smoking a cigarette with shorts. Like, I'm going to assume you're just like everyone else, you know? That, of course, you're fucking having some weird-ass normal relationship in the ghetto, you know? Mm-hmm. But I think it's weird. I don't think that they should be related just because of all of that stuff that we had seen. Like, you had basically gave me these inklings like, okay, you're a couple. So now I'm just supposed to believe, okay, you guys are related. You guys sleep together, and that's not supposed to be weird.
No, you're weird for thinking it's weird.
I'm weird for thinking it's weird?
I don't have a real problem with that. I'm sure we're going to get a flashback at some point between them, and they probably have this tragic backstory, and that's why he'll always have her back because of whatever happened when they were a lot younger.
Because of blah, blah, sad shit. Let me just see the fights.
You think it's okay because, like, whatever, you've gone through some shit, you're probably traumatized, you're traumatized. Okay, you're two traumatized people sharing a mattress. If that has to be normalized to an extent just for that to make sense, I'm still not okay.
No, dude, but you gotta, like, this dude was also, like, pretty much doing whatever she wanted him to do. So, like, I could also imagine that's her mattress when it's bedtime. And this dude's just sleeping on the ground.
Yeah, that is true too. Yeah.
Well, my whole thing is, like, the only Instagram account that he has just has landscape photos.
Like,
I just think that all he wants to do is just, like, be at peace, take photos of landscape. He probably just stays up all night waiting for the sunset, going to the perfect spot.
I'm with you. I'm waiting for that backstory.
I hope to God I get that backstory.
Yeah, man.
So right on, man. Let's hop into some Lookism. Continuing workers here with chapters 2 to 3 for workers, and man, it's some bunch of hype stuff, bunch of nice fun twists in here. The way characters hop into the fights, good stuff. Freaking right off the bat, it's like Do showing up. Like, I forgot, like
Dude, we always forget about our boy Do, but he's always comes through at the end.
He's always coming through, man.
He's got the best title now. Like, honestly, if I could have that title, that would be the best title.
Fuck yeah.
Mother of all badasses.
But yeah, I was trying to think, like, who is that? Is that Jake? You know, who it's got to be somebody that we already saw in these chapters that's, like, accidentally tripping and all that. But then it's Do, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, because he was with Alex doing all that wacky shit. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of good stuff here, man. I'm excited for a lot of fights that we're going to be seeing. And I think the one I want to see is, at least like story-wise, it'll probably be with Zach and Johan. Because, you know, they're going to be having a conversation while they're fighting. Or, excuse me, while Zach's getting his ass whooped.
There's no fight.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fight.
I mean, he's just going to get knocked out really fast, and then Johan's going to go inside.
God bless him, but...
Which kind of sucks, man.
I wouldn't be surprised either if he just, like, has that moment where he, like, I don't know, like, you know, they have that, like, that Super Saiyan moment, like, through the fits of death, they, like, somehow get, like, one super quick power-up, a little Deus Ex Machina kind of thing. I'm thinking that he'll probably have something along those lines, and he'll be able to not beat him, but hold him off just long enough for Vasco to do whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I think Zach's probably going to bring up Johan's mom because he just visited her not that long ago, right? and probably have that conversation. And that's going to stop Johan because it's going to piss him off and all that. But yeah, we're going to see Zach get his ass whooped, which to me it kind of sucks because I'm like, I like Zach and I kind of want to see him like get better. And I just think back to when like they were hyping up his training, and then when they first fought again, he got his ass whooped hard. And it was just going to be the same thing all over again. Like even Zach knows it deep down. It's like, damn.
Part of the problem is with all the fighting styles that they have in this series, it makes it really hard for a boxer to compare or a boxer to get better. Like it just kind of puts a cap on things, like a glass ceiling.
Yeah.
How far is he really going to be able to go against like a martial art that was created to like counter Krav Maga or like counter knives and weapons and shit like that? Whatever the fuck that Uncle Warren can do and Johan can do, like it's just you're just basically asking. That's like Aquaman going up against Superman. You know what I mean? It's like two totally different levels of powers altogether.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's hard, But just like I was saying earlier with Mangi, the way that he implements his story and the way that his characters end up getting these these developments is, I'm somewhat relatively sure that Zach is going to be able to either do something with boxing or even then probably become something even better than that. You know what I mean? I don't think that he's just limited to what he started with. I think that he's that type of character that can adhere and grow into something else. Like, what is he right now? An in-boxer?
Zach's an outboxer.
An outboxer?
No,
Yeah.
that's right, yeah.
I mean, if they're not going to have him, like, change into inboxing or even slugger, I feel like he might really have that capacity to just go straight to slugger and then, even combine that with something else.
This is some Yakuza shit, man. We took some viral hit and threw it over to Lookism, man.
Yeah, dog. I mean, the potential is there. It's a great series. It's got a lot of ways to move around. We're always making up hypotheses one way or another, and at some points we're right, at some points we're not, and then it just But I'm just really hoping that as we're getting a little bit closer towards like whatever climax this leads to between Jake's crew, the J crew, and then of course Daniel with this girl, that we have like some just like basically a little bit of fun watching these guys fight for now, because we know that they're just gonna build up again later at the grand finale of the third affiliate.
And we saw some good shit with our boy Eli coming in and just going wrecking ham. And again with the comedic stuff, bringing in the Sailor Moon toy by accident. And I will say I'm a little surprised the Sailor Moon toy broke, mainly because I wanted to see more of him using it. And probably have like a Sailor Moon reference in there, right? Just for the comedy's sake.
Was it the Sailor Moon wand? Because I thought it was the Cardcaptor Sakura wand.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, hers is... Sailor Moon has a crescent moon. That's hers.
I was thinking
be...
of the... in the fourth arc of Sailor Moon, her and Chibiusa get an upgrade on their wands, and it has a heart on there too.
You're talking about the red one with the crown, right? You're talking about Princess Serenity's rod thingy.
Oh,
yeah, the ones that are in.
I'm really sorry that we're doing this right now. I'm so sorry.
Always Sailor Moon time. The ones that are in the new movie Eternal, that's what it looks like. But yeah, that was a good fight too. We saw just like how we just saw Eli never left, bro. He was here the whole time, being this strong,
holding it down silently. The fact that Eli had to use the heart wand, I couldn't ask for better. Anything better.
Yeah, it's great. It's good humor for it to flow in naturally. It doesn't feel forced at all, and it's just for the moment, but it actually is also part of the fight. Like he was still using it up until he switched to the frying pans.
That was genius.
You fucking cold cocked him with that ceramic nonstick pan.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking just got him. I like I mean, it was kind of confusing, but I mean, we all kind of saw it coming. Just like the King Gong, right? That was like his alias, one of his aliases, King Gong.
Yeah.
and like the little kind of imagination thing that he had going on.
Oh, where he
like,
won?
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's like, I'm like clearly I'm the winner.
I'm the shit, bro. Look at
He's
this.
just like, it was just a dream, bro. As he's like coughing on his own, choking
That was
with
cool.
his face up on the ground.
It makes Eli feel more, not intimidating, but definitely stronger than what we perceived him initially.
He stayed strong.
I was telling Oscar, like, I forgot about, like, where we saw this guy before, but linemen coming in, trying to act all cool. And really, he's just all the big setup for our boy Jerry Quan to come out from the shitter.
Dude, I fucking forgot he was in the shitter until he just walked out. And I'm like, now it's on! And he didn't even wash his hands. He's gonna wipe his hands all over your face.
He's gonna give you that pink eye.
He's gonna give you that dirty Sanchez, bro.
Look, he got his thumb in it on purpose.
The dirty Quan. Oh, ew.
Yeah, that shit was funny on the chapter cover. We just see where all the big deal guys are at, and then Jerry's just taking that
Jerry's
shit.
just taking mean dumper. He had that Tokiboki, or whatever the hell that is.
I gotta give it up to Lyman though. He's just like I smelled it and I knew you were here. I just stuck it out for you until you were finished. He's like, I would have been pissed if you came out anytime sooner. He's like, if you didn't fucking wipe properly.
It kind of sucks though. I was hoping Daniel was gonna fight with linemen just for a bit, you know, like they would tag team to help. Because I mean, I know it's you know not the strong body, but he could still fight.
Yeah, you know, you would expect something out of that, but I think what it is, you know, he's already coming out of, what is it, not one, but 2 times where he was knocked out or drugged or whatever the fuck.
Maybe, yeah, he's getting them side effects, boy.
Yeah, and you know, he's even though I believe that he could put up a fight, he is going up against, you know, where are they from? China? Korea?
They're from China.
China. All right, so yeah, he's going up against like basically the Chinese mafia, like no bullshit. So I just think that in terms of ability, even though yes, he would most likely be able to put up a fight, I don't think that in that body particularly that he can take out much of those executives, if any executive at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty much the key point between having that Daniel fight versus God, I always forget that stupid fucker. His body's real name, James Lee.
Well, it's not James Lee, bro. I'm telling you.
For now, it's a
for
placeholder.
Now, just, yeah. Okay. Hot Daniel. Yeah. Lookism getting me excited, dude. I'm looking forward to that stuff. Can't wait to see Vasco come up and fight Homeboy. Or no, it'll probably be Jake.
No, yeah, Vasco ran inside.
He did run inside, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's where we're like, yeah, no, Zach has no chance.
Not Zach. I'm sorry. Jake. I think Jake's gonna fight. Was it Zhang Shi or whatever? Or maybe him and Vasco team up because they're gonna have to fight him with that staff.
Oh,
that
Xiaolong.
Xiaolong. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be. I could probably see something like that happening, or maybe there's another like, because there's a few more VIPs in there, aren't there?
So what's
besides
I
the
don't
female?
know.
I think the female's one of them.
Oh
But
no, she is there. Yeah, so she's gonna have to fight somebody.
which one? Who? Wait, what?
dude, bring back Mary Kim.
No,
I'm so
have it be Vasco because you know Vasco's not gonna fight her, and then she's gonna start like catching feelings like she did with Johan when they fought.
Oh man,
That'd be good.
I hate that you might be right.
But I wonder if they're gonna learn the secret of the club room, like you know the little rotation thing, just so they can get into the hotel. Because one of the things that
They're in the hotel already. Like where
okay, sorry, hold on. I'm referring to Vasco and Eli.
Yeah, no, they're in the hotel.
They just got in.
No, they're in the club. They went into the club.
No, they went in front of the hotel.
Johan was guarding the entrance to the hotel,
yeah,
and not the entrance to the club, is what you're telling me.
Yes. Because remember, Jake called using Daniel's phone, and they went into the hotel because they needed them to come into the hotel. Why would there, because Eli found a kitchen. That's not going to be at the club.
There's a kitchen in the club. What are you talking about? They serve food at the club.
Yeah, but all the execs and stuff have to be at the hotel because that's where Vivi's at.
All right, I might be wrong on that. Okay, but my thought process was that they had entered through the club and that Johan was still guarding the club entrance. Eli would have basically made his way into the back of the club where the kitchen is at, beat the shit out of that nigga, get some info, move on. Right? Vasco doing whatever the fuck he was doing, trying to probably fighting one of those executives again. And I was just assuming that they were going to try to go upstairs and they were going to try to find Daniel. Because I'm thinking that the James Lee body is still in the club. It's not in the hotel.
Yeah, he's
in one of those rooms in the rotation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's on mushrooms. Hard.
So I know that when Jake called, they're looking for that Daniel.
Well, okay, you have to remember in the setup for the chapter, I think it was for Workers 2, when they're in the hotel and they're telling all the people staying at the hotel, like, oh, we're on lockdown because, there's a maniac running around or whatever.
I was just referring to that earlier because, assuming that if I'm right and they are in the club, not in the hotel, there wouldn't be a way for them to basically go back out and go around to go into the hotel entrance. They would have to go in through the secret entrance from the club room, the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking was going to happen, so that when Jake is the first one to go meet the guy at the top guarding Vivi, that Vasco was going to be probably right behind him. To me, that just sounded like that if they weren't already there, that any more assistance from Jay High was going to have to be like in a roundabout way. Regardless,
it's still really great stuff. Also, hey, they changed the music for these chapters. I don't know if you guys listened to it, but it was good stuff. It was like a mild fighting game music. It was getting me a little pumped reading it.
Oh yeah, I didn't end up listening to the music this time around.
Yeah, me neither. Kind of like skipping through it.
It's different, so I appreciate it being different.
I like how it's kind of a lot more often now.
I guess because it's the club theme, right?
Well, yeah, but I just mean that I appreciate that either the series is so popular to a point where like he can go the extra mile and put these in a couple of chapters, because I know that some series do this, but they don't all do it like on a regular basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're not just going to go out of their way to add it for like each and every chapter. So I just like that. It's more or less it's a lot more popular in a way. I just think that maybe it just means that the series might be more popular.
It's definitely up there. I stumbled upon one of those time-lapse videos of popularity for webtoons, and Lookism was up there for a little bit for a top 15. Like it was floating like top 20 easily the past few years. But yeah, that's cool. I'm sure we're just gonna keep having it until this arc ends, or whenever they leave the hotel, and then when they go back, the music will start playing again.
I kind of hope that if any of them get like induced by the mushrooms, like the spores, that the music gets kind of chopped and screwed or even like distorted.
That'd be pretty cool too.
But the way that they have the music set up for these chapters, it's the same. It's one audio file. It's not gonna just change as you go down the chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the problem with that is you would hear like this whole distortion thing throughout the whole chapter, which would be cool if the entire chapter was going to be from the perspective of somebody that was under the substance.
It'd be Daniel if Skinny Daniel gets knocked out. How Daniel wakes up in that mushroom room.
Oh
Not
man!
just him, but hopefully somebody that finds him, because they're not going to just know about the spores unless it was somebody that put him there in the first place.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with that, because if Daniel doesn't get knocked out, like he's going to be chilling in there for a good while.
I wonder if it's going to have any negative side effects. Like I'm sure it's not even going to be something that they mention. They'll just like kind of write it off, like it's not even a big deal. But like I'm sure being in a room filled with hallucinogenic spores for a good amount of time should definitely do some sort of permanent damage to your body.
I think that body will be fine, mainly because remember when he almost died and he came back and he was fine. Like those bodies are special, so I think stuff like that wouldn't really affect him. But I think we'll definitely see some stuff with Daniel taking all those drug-filled cookies. Like that's gonna have to be something at the end of this.
Right.
As soon as the couch started growing mushrooms on it, he's like, whoa.
Again, also another series. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen next chapter. Especially with Jerry, just the way Jerry just stood up and like just the way they're looking at each other.
And got up in his face.
Two big buff bald boys.
I'm telling you, dude.
Jerry had to be taller.
I don't even know. I don't even know if he flushed.
Oh, he didn't.
Like
No way.
like he just opened the door, walked out, and carried the fumes with him.
I like how Lima was like, I knew that shit smelled familiar. That's great. Well, all right, man. Let's hop into some Gara High School. Chapters 509 to 510. And this is some good stuff as well. It was getting me hyped. And when I was reading the chapter, I was like, oh, man, like, if this is going to be in the anime, this is the part where Daiwei's theme starts playing.
Oh, for sure.
When he's fighting the dragon. Like, that was
some serious Dragon Ball Z shit going on in these chapters.
When he was like, I don't even need the robe. It's not about that.
I'm like, oh!
And then the dragon's like, well, actually, I know martial arts too. And
dude,
like, oh,
they were fucking like the full second chapter was just them, just like hand to hand, just like forces of nature, shockwaves with each movement. It's like I could feel like the fucking bass when like they hit and like the airwaves just clash. And all the soldiers are just like, don't get in, you'll get sucked in. Like it's a fucking black hole they're making. It's great. It's just the amount of power.
We eat those up, man. We're fighting like men.
Shit goes hard, dude. I just I think I mentioned this last time, but I like the weird methodical Chinese background, like the little history that he has in his character. I used to be a horse. Now I'm a dragon. Now I know martial arts. I think the one we take away from, aside what he did as the horse, but also as the son of the Dragon King, this character among all the four is definitely going to be the one that has that initial interaction with Mori. That's basically what we were looking at towards the end anyway, with the little cliffhanger that they left us on with Mori trying to basically become powerful as Mori Dan and use all of those Yuis at the same time. I think the other thing that I really liked about these two chapters was just, again, talking about the boy Dawei. We really get, that nostalgic feeling of whenever he kind of has to go back to basics. Like, you always know that he's really, really about to whoop your ass whenever he says, okay, I gotta go back to basics again. I gotta get in the stance again and then just use that literal one punch move, the super serious series to just fucking blow you away, dude.
Yeah.
It always gives me chills in the back of my neck.
I need to stop playing Marvel. I gotta hop in Tekken. That's what he was saying, bro. And then, yeah, that teaser at the end of their fight got me really hyped because I was thinking like, oh, maybe, I think I said last episode that, like, oh, Mori's going to come in, he's going to fight the dragon because of their personal history with each other. And that's going to set off like, okay, Mori beat the strongest out of the four, and now all the other characters can fight the other three. But reading this fight, I was like, oh no, maybe Dawei's going to whoop him and give, courage back to humanity, which is what we were seeing in these chapters. But then with the teaser of our boy pulling out his own rib to make his own staff, I was like, oh, that means for sure Mori's coming in. And he's going to be using, is it the Dragon King, right?
Yeah.
I thought we were going by power pole. I'm just going to use the power pole.
Yeah, but specifically the one from the Dragon King who is that dragon's father.
Okay, so that specifically isn't a pole. It's literally like an actual dragon bone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. In and of itself, it'll be reforged, or if it's gonna keep its same structure as a bone, and he's just gonna use it like as a club, basically, because that's basically the only one that doesn't look like all the other ones. I think his number was 201 or 151. I forget, but I know it's one of those two. Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to that. It's just basically an inevitable thing that we all kind of knew was gonna happen. We all kind of anticipated that he would just end up pushing towards that.
Yeah, I was just hoping in these chapters that he was going to go different by having Dawei do it. But yeah, we're going to save that for Mori, I think mainly because the personal history between them.
But you also make a good point. Like, okay, like if we had to delegate one-on-ones between the four, I think... the blue-haired girl would probably be Pandora.
The bunny?
I forgot what her... Yeah, the bunny, or Bamto, or whatever her name is, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would probably fight Sujin. I think that Mira would go against the reindeer guy again. He mentioned that I know that we saw him bow before Mujin, and he asked him for the what was it? I forgot which one of those weapons he has. It's like the one that the chakram, the one that's like basically like a little talisman thing that's like a super sharp spear.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has that one. I think he's planning on like probably like using it as a like I don't know, as like kind of like a CQC, or either that, or he's gonna like long range and like probably injure her from the beginning and then try to like jump her, you know?
Yeah.
I think that it only leaves like Ryong with Mori, of course, and then the other one was I don't remember the other one, but I can just imagine it's probably gonna be Iplo, because what was Iplo?
Iplo's TKO. I don't know if he's dead. I forgot.
Yeah, I saw those in the comments. Is he dead? I think he's just gonna be knocked out, and then maybe the Fox is gonna be doing some Naruto bullshit and maybe possess Homeboy's body.
He was like in the middle of bumfuck universe nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, then they have to like go over some bullshit about what's gonna happen to the rest of the soul shards if they're still going with that plot device, you know. Or it could just be some bullshit like, yeah, I just left and I found all of them on my own. I'm just going to come back and get the last of them. Here you go.
I mean, there was a 17-year time skip, right? Since the last time we talked about it.
Yeah, but we had just assumed that the Fox that he made direct contact with just, like, got blown up with the planet. Because, like, really, what the fuck ended up happening to that thing anyway? It's not like he just unchained him.
Well, I mean, Iplo would be cool, but I want to see our boy Bake with Uma tag team. I guess one of them. Well, no, there's only 3 left, right? So they wouldn't really have to fight anybody.
But that would be cool, too. I mean, shit, if Iplo's, like, not 100%, he can tag team with Bake. Bake can take over from there, you know? I think that would be cool, too, because I totally forgot about it until you just mentioned it right now. Like, I totally want to see King Uma again. Like,
yeah, it's wife time, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And my only bummer about these 2 chapters, I said it to you, Oscar, when I was reading it. I was like, man, I feel bad for our boy Alex here, who's the descendant of Hercules, because, you know, he has his power is more unique than other borrowed power users, and like the fact that he's still getting his ass whooped hard, you know, even after training for those 17 years, it just sucks to see.
Yeah, it just really goes to show that even at that point, you know, it's just being a secondary or tertiary character is all you're pretty much ever going to be. You know, as
he's aware of it.
I wouldn't say he's entirely aware of it. But I think
that
they're still going to pull. The thing I hate about this series is that every character gets superseded by one thing or another. At one point, he really was a formidable and even better adversary than most of the other people that they fought against. And then, of course, because we've already been talking about gods and demons and all this other shit, he had to have gotten passed up by something, like a deity or whatever the case was. And, of course, that's exactly what happened. You know, so we have all of these really cool characters, like Ahan, who I always talk about. Like, I will never stop crying about Ahan and how she was, like, this almighty character, and now she's pretty much like an ant compared to everybody else. And I just think that's kind of ridiculous. You put way, way too much into the series, and now you have all of these cool, interesting characters that you had so much build-up for, and all of the shit you did for, and you can't use them. It's exactly like as I mentioned last time. You really can't use them because, what? If you put them up against any one of the enemies that Mori needs to fight, or Dawe, or Mira, they're not gonna last.
Yeah.
Like, they're just gonna instantly get annihilated. And that's really unfortunate.
That was part of the problem for me with the time skip stuff. And then having Mori be Mori Dan is just like, well, yeah, but like we're only taking a break from where we left off with the power scaling. Like, and we're going to come back, and we are back. And yeah, we're seeing this stuff happen, unfortunately. Like the characters that one of the 4 that was like supposed to be a big deal that Mori became friends with, like he's not in the picture anymore. Like nobody's going to even remember his name at this point. So it's like, yeah, it's just a waste of build up.
As you're talking about it right now, I can't even remember who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the son of one of the other God of High School contestants from like the one before the flashback.
Oh, yeah. The one that they had like 2 girlfriends, right?
Yeah.
And one of them died. Yeah, I remember. And he had, you're absolutely right, because what was his power? His power was like ranked like 1 or 2 compared to like.
Well, he was one of the
school.
Mori Gen candidates or whatever, but they just played it off as like, oh well, I mean, Mori already beat him, so we have nothing to worry about. And it's like, oh, okay, almost in a joking way, but yeah, it's like Dean's gonna get more screen time than Alex with his Hercules power lenderization, because he's new generation and he could keep up with these insanely powerful gods because he can.
So basically, the last time that we saw Dean, he's more or less got like this god look on him now when he uses his power. He basically does like the direct contact transformation stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just have like that kind of thing. Now the only difference, so something that we've already talked about, is we know that his power is like Mori. He's basically limitless. He's just like a no, I'm not gonna say he's like Mori. He really reminds me of Bam. He's more like a well that can't be filled. You can just keep throwing shit at him, and he's no matter what, he can just absorb it, use it, and rebuke it, just make it take it better.
That was Mori too, with him just learning everything as he was fighting.
I think there's a difference between martial arts and like powers.
Well, I mean, the powers thing is only him with the other new generation. Was it Gen X people?
Yeah, but I think that besides the original squad that he had, clearly there are more. Who's to say that if they don't end up going to Mugen, because God knows that he's not going to leave that fucking shrine. They go up to him and they meet those kids that Dean isn't going to take those powers too. You know what I mean? Or he's not just going to be like near them and just kind of absorb some of their abilities, because they're there with him now on the arc. You know what I mean? So it's a possibility that he can become even stronger, even dare say like at the same rank as Mori or Mugen when they go toe to toe.
Yeah, well, we'll get there when we get there. It might be a while because I think we're going to be seeing more of these fights with Dawe until Mori shows up, which is probably going to end that fight. But yeah, I want to see what this dragon's going to be doing with his own rib as a staff.
If he uses it as a staff, because who's to say that they couldn't use it for more than one weapon?
Well, I don't know, because he called it the Yoli, whatever it is,
Yui,
Yui, the power pole. Since he called it that, I'm assuming like, oh, it's going to be a staff, because all the other remnants of the dragons have been staffs. Well, actually, they've been pillars, right? That could just change form.
But they're pillars because they also hold up the ancient dragon palace. So it was more or less they had like a double use.
They were made into that for that purpose.
Exactly. So I'm just thinking that as it goes, they'll probably lead on to say that it's not the only kind of form that it could take. You know what I mean? I hope maybe he's special. Maybe his form will be different.
That'll be cool. At least it'll give us some variance into how he's going to fight. And also, like, it'll make the fight more interesting too, I guess, when he fights Mori eventually. And instead of just it being two staffs, it's going to be something different.
I hope the shit, like, just kind of flies around him telekinetically. Either that, or it's going to look like the Keyblade graveyard. And they're just going to be stabbed everywhere. He just takes turns.
I'm sure we're going to get that, because Mori was using them like that, right? When he was fighting the ancient dragon.
Yeah, he was pretty much just, putting them down in kind of strategic locations and, having them run into her, like having them just in place so that when he uses one, he can grab the next one, That reminds me of Mira when she had the 109 weapons, the 109 swords or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that she also still has those too, right? She has both that and the Blade of Tagatha.
She has the blade, for sure. I don't know about the other weapons. Well, I don't think she could call forth all those weapons like she can the blade and the national treasure that she has, because I think those were there with her when she started fighting with them. But yeah, man, good chapters all around for these series, man. They all got me hyped for what's to come next, for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope a lot. Like I said, like always, it's always a good feeling when you're kind of right. So I hope that some of the stuff that we talked about might come to fruition, at least the good stuff that we wanted to happen. From time to time, that we can be wrong on some certain things and still be taken surprised, even though we're, so far into a series, 3 or 4 years into a serialization, and we're still getting, twists and turns that keep us on our toes. Got to give it up to them. That's great writing. It's great material.
I like to be surprised because, I've read so much and have an idea of how things can go.
Yeah, it kind of sucks when you get to that point. I mean, I'm not at that point, but I hope that even then, we get feelers out for, the kind of moments in a series where something can go a certain way we don't expect, and let's just basically, again, just agreeing with you, it's a good feeling to get to still be taken off guard sometimes.
Heck yeah. So I think on that note, it's safe to say we could go ahead and wrap up here. Thanks, guys, for sticking around. If you have any questions or comments, what do you guys think is going to be coming up in these arcs? We would love to hear your thoughts. That's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And you can follow us on social media at Unversed Podcast anywhere you go, and we'll let you know when those episodes drop. So thanks, guys, and we will catch you on the next one.